مَثَلُ نُورِهِ كَمِشْكَاتٍ فِيهَا مِصْبَاحٌ الْمِصْبَاحُ فِي زُجَاجَةٍ. Allah mentions the similitude of the light of Allah is like the example of. Now the example has three components: an outer, a middle, and an inner. كَمِشْكَاتٍ فِيهَا مِصْبَاحٌ الْمِصْبَاحُ فِي زُجَاجَةٍ. Now, the parable, the metaphor, begins with the outer, jumps to the innermost, and then goes to the middle. Is that clear? It doesn't go outer, middle, inner. It goes outer, innermost, middle, and it's a little bit disconcerting if you don't know where the ayah is going. By doing this, Allah Azza wa Jal has to mention what is in the middle twice. And that is the maqsood or the intention of the ayah. مَثَلُ نُورِي كَمِشْكَاتٍ فِيهَا مِصْبَاحٌ الْمِصْبَاحُ فِي زُجَاجَةٍ. Did you guys follow the Arabic? Misbah is mentioned twice, right? مَثَلُ نُورِهِ كَمِشْكَاتٍ فِيهَا مِصْبَاحٌ. Now, if you don't know Arabic, obviously this is being lost on you. So let me translate. Mishkat. What is a mishkat? A mishkat is a crevice or a niche in the wall. We don't have one here, but back in the day, luxurious houses, masjids that were purpose built, they would have niches in the wall to put the lantern. And the purpose of the niche, the purpose of that space is to protect the lantern and to project all of the lantern's light in one direction, like we might have mirrors or something. So back in the day, they had a carved out space. That carved out space is called mishkat. So, مَثَلُ نُورِهِ كَمِشْكَاتٍ. So the example of, we're going to go with the interpretation that the Noor is the Qur'an here. The example of the light of Allah, the Qur'an, is like that of a mishkat, a niche that is carved in the wall. Inside of the niche is a misbah, which is the misbah is the lamp. The misbah is the actual flame, the candle. That's the misbah, the lamp. Al-misbahu fi zujaja. The candle or the lamp is inside of a glass. So notice, the niche, the candle, the glass. You know the good old days, then they had the lantern, right? Imagine you have a lantern. You all have seen a lantern on television. I know you haven't physically touched one since God knows when, but you know a lantern, right? I've seen that in the good old black and white movies, okay? Those lanterns have glass. Inside the glass is a actual candle. And then where do you put that lantern? You put it inside of the niche in the wall, okay? This is the example that Allah is giving. Now, Allah Azza wa Jal mentions the niche, then the candle, then the glass. And He has to mention the candle twice. By mentioning the candle twice, by mentioning the flame twice, the maqsood or the point is to emphasize this is the whole parable. This is what the parable is about. And that is the original light. And of course, in our understanding, according to today's lecture, that is the Qur'an. So Allah mentions the Qur'an twice. Al-misbah, al-misbah. Al-misbahu fi zujaja. كَمِشْكَاتٍ فِيهَا مِصْبَاحٌ الْمِصْبَاحُ فِي زُجَاجَةٍ. So that misbah is the Qur'an. The light of the Qur'an is being emanated. Now, if the interpretation of the Qur'an here is that candle, then what is the zujaja or the glass representing? And what is the mishkat representing? Again, you have multiple interpretations. And actually one can say, there are multiple schools. Under each school, there are sub-schools of how you want to interpret this verse. So I'm just going to go with one school and one sub-school because of time. If we were to go down this route of the candle represents the Qur'an, then according to another group of scholars within this school, the zujaja is the heart. The heart is the glass. And this is a beautiful, beautiful metaphor for the heart. Because glass is fragile and it is also super hard. Glass is transparent and it is also translucent. Similarly, hearts, some of them are fragile and some of them are hard. Some of them are see-through and they're honest, and some of them are double-layered. Some of them are opposite mirrors, literally hypocrites. So if we were to go down the route that glass here represents the heart, there's a powerful metaphor that just like glass is of so many varieties, so too the heart is of so many varieties. And the best glass is the most see-through glass. The best glass, you don't even know it's there. And so too the best heart is the purest heart. The best heart, you can see through that person is as he is. There's no double standards, there's no hypocrisy, there's purity over there. And what then is the mishkat? The niche, our scholars have said, or some group have said, the mishkat or the niche is all of the outer organs as they project the heart, the tongue and the hands and the limbs. So the outer organs, they project what is in the heart. And the heart, inside of it is the candle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is the Qur'an. So the entire metaphor is about the heart of the believer who believes in the Qur'an. This is the metaphor according to one perspective. The heart of the believer who believes in the Qur'an. That the believer who believes in the Qur'an, that believer, his light is coming from the Qur'an. And that light is going to be protected by his heart. Because what does the heart, what does the zujaja do when the wind comes? The heart protects that lamp. The heart seals that lamp. The heart is where the lamp is contained. So too, the believer, his heart contains the Qur'an. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Qur'an that one of the miracles of the Qur'an is that it is memorized by the believers. بَلْ هُوَ آيَاتٌ بَيِّنَاتٌ فِي صُدُورِ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمِ. Rather, the Qur'an is that which is memorized by the heart of the believers. So here the zujaja becomes the heart of the believer. And the mishkat then becomes the projection. What do your hands do? What do your tongue do? What does your eye do? It's going to project like the mishkat projects the light. So according to this narrative, the Qur'an becomes the guiding light.